Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter, the sports podcast featuring the Baker Boys.
There he is.
Quite an
There
intro
he is.
there.
That's a tongue tire.
He's figuring.
All right, so welcome Trent.
Hello. Thank you.
Big John is back in action.
Hello. Missed you guys.
Yes.
Good to be back.
I'm glad to have you back here. So Trey is absent for tonight's episode.
And I will kind of explain, or at least let's give a congratulations to two of the beards, Tyler, you, as well as Trey, who's not with us tonight. But you guys have both welcomed two newborns into the family, into this world. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Glad everyone and the women are doing well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Had a little baby girl, and Trey had a little baby boy, so got some new members of the Baker family ready to rock and roll. So yeah,
New listeners.
Dude,
There you go.
It has been quite a week. Glad I'm actually able to do the podcast. Even though I'm actually running on fumes, but hey, wouldn't miss it for anything, right? So. Yeah, so let's get into it. We're going to start this off with our booming topics. So we'll get this going here with some NFL boomers. Everybody's favorite time with the DJ air horn. I'm going to get us going here with something that I think is kind of interesting in terms of really kind of leading into the NFL season. And that's really coaches that are on the hot seat. You got a couple NFL coaches here, been in the NFL, been with their teams for a couple years, maybe haven't had the most success. I know I sent you guys some, odds on some things in terms of coaches that could possibly be let go first, etc. Just to kind of get your thoughts on what coaches do you guys think are on the hot seat, and even possibly, who do you really think is just solid? There's no risk of them. They can keep going on, keeping on. So I'll let either of you guys start with that one.
I can start here, Dad, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Dad, do you want us calling you Dad or John? I'm just
John's
not sure.
John's fine.
John, okay. Oh, that's
John's for the audience.
all right.
Trey and I were calling him Big John, or you could also call him Papa Bake.
All right.
Yep.
Remember sleeves don't stand a chance.
Oh,
yes.
there you go. Oh yeah. There you go.
Wait. Yep, no sleeves.
Yep,
I know. Yeah, I did put a shirt on.
All right, let me get started because Tyler, you sent us the odds like you stated, and I've seen these posted quite a bit around the Twitter, or I don't know, do we call it X now? I don't know.
No, it's still Twitter. I'm not changing my name. What I'm calling it.
Okay, so at the top, who had the favorite to be fired first was Mike McCarthy, and I completely disagree with it.
Really?
I do. I mean, I feel like everybody's all over firing Mike McCarthy strictly because Dan Quinn has a heck of a defense there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I truly think Mike McCarthy's going to have success this year with Dallas. I'm not saying that they're going to win that division with the Eagles the way that they are, because I'm reading a lot up on the Eagles D-line and how dominant they are with those rookies out of Georgia. But I'm gonna throw this guy out there, and I'm gonna say he's gonna be gone halfway through the season if they are not winning their division, or at least.
Is this the only coach you think is gonna be gone during the season?
This is one that I could absolutely see. If things aren't going right, he's going to be gone mid-season.
Okay.
Brandon Staley of the Los Angeles Chargers.
He was on a hot seat at the end of the year last year.
I can't believe with that complete debacle of blowing a huge lead in Jacksonville when Trevor Lawrence, even though they came back, still wasn't playing that great of a game. I'm pretty sure, didn't he throw like a record of like 4 or 5 interceptions in the first half?
It was like 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, and you're a defensive-minded coach. Your offense was scoring, taking advantage of those turnovers.
Yeah.
You don't finish that game with the amount of talent you have there.
Sure.
And I think with their draft class, I think they drafted well again.
You just paid your quarterback big bucks. I mean, what? Is he now top? He's top tier, right?
For right now, until we see what happens with Burrow. But
careful there.
I know. we can mention that. It makes me sick. But Brandon Staley, in my opinion, I see as being his odds were at plus 1,600, whereas Mike McCarthy, the favorite to be fired, was plus 500.
Yeah,
I would put Staley at least within 100 or 200 of McCarthy up there. So that's my main one that stood out to me.
Okay, Big John, what do you think on this?
I see Dennis Allen going at least at the end of the season in New Orleans.
Okay.
I mean, to me, he's not much of a coach, and they tried to shuffle some things around there, some of the players they brought in and everything else. But I see Dennis Allen go. I don't think he has the talent as a coach. The other guy that I don't care for that I see probably retiring at the end of the year is Pete Carroll.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
That's a bold statement. Retiring.
Yeah, he'll retire. They'll allow him to leave graciously
without firing him.
Yeah,
I could see that. Was that Seattle's first Super Bowl that he brought him?
You mean the interception at the goal line? I'm just kidding.
I mean, what, previous year?
Run the damn ball.
I could be wrong. That might be Seattle's only Super Bowl. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I think Dennis Allen, he's definitely in a very interesting spot where, I don't know, you bring in Derek Carr, the Alvin Kamara situation, something that really is something that everybody needs to pay attention to. Their wide receiver situation, something they need to pay attention to. I agree with you, though. I don't think he's a great head coach. I think he's a good coordinator.
Decent coordinator.
I like I said, I think it's the same song and dance where you got Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. I mean, it didn't work the first time I think at that time it was Oakland. And now you're going to bring him in again. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I do, Trent, I agree with you with Staley being on the hot seat. The one that I actually think really needs to kind of be evaluated here, and I actually think it's kind of more of just all the turmoil that's going on, is I think you'll see Ron Rivera possibly gone during the season too. And I say that just because I feel like, I guess, I don't even know what the heck we call them anymore, just Washington. I really feel like they're trying to hit the whole reset button. And, I mean, Ron Rivera, he has a lot of notoriety as a head coach, and people love him. And, I don't know. I think he's an okay head coach. I think he's probably, him and Todd Bowles from the Buccaneers, I think, are two that I could really see on the hot seat, especially during the season. I agree with that one. So that's some of the ones, though, to kind of look at it. I think it's comical that Vrabel is pretty high. Vrabel is plus 1,400. I don't see if Tennessee would ever part ways with Vrabel especially this year. I think they'd be crazy. I think Vrabel is a good head coach. I think he's a player's coach. I don't see him leaving. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think in terms of who's solid? I mean, besides your obvious ones of like your Andy Reid, your Belichick's, who else did you guys say is solid in sticking where they're at?
That's what I kind of wanted to add in for our listeners out there is I stated Mike McCarthy was the favorite to be fired at plus 500 odds, whereas on the opposite end, Andy Reid is the biggest, no chance of getting fired. His odds of getting fired are plus 25,000.
Yeah.
So just to kind of when we rattle these odds off, to give you guys where some of these guys stand. Before I get into one that definitely won't get fired, I'm going to go with another. And I don't know. I there's something going on around this team.
I'm curious if it's the same guy I'm thinking, because there's a name out there, a big name, that I'm thinking is vulnerable.
I think this guy's very vulnerable depending on how this season goes. Even if they make the playoffs, even if they win their division, I think we could see him going. I'm going Sean McDermott as a potential hot seat guy.
I could see that.
he lost, if you guys recall, now Sean McDermott is a defensive guy, but he lost his defensive coordinator, Leslie Frazier.
Where'd he go?
Just decided to sit out this year. So he said he's not retiring, but just needs a year off. So there's a very good chance. I mean, I'd be surprised if the Bills wanted to go defense in terms of head coaches.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think when you lose a Brian Daboll to the Giants and see what success he was able to have with that team, maybe you're sitting there saying, "Eesh, maybe we need an offensive mind to make sure that Josh Allen there is taken care of, and our future franchise quarterback continues to play at a high level." So I would just say Sean McDermott is potential hot seat member by the end of the year if they don't do something big. So,
all right, and I can tell you who the next coach might be.
Go ahead. Who?
And hold on, can I clarify? Do something big.
Sure.
What I mean by that is if the Bills don't make the Super Bowl, I think Sean McDermott could be gone.
Yeah.
That might be a hot take, meaning surprise. But I think if the Bills don't make the Super Bowl, or at least maybe they get matched up with Kansas City or the Bengals in the semifinal, if they don't, or a quarterfinal, sorry, if they don't make either a major win or make the Super Bowl in the play, I think he's gone.
Wow.
Hot take.
Hey, it's hot, but you know what? It's just what I see. I don't know. I mean, you look at other leagues nowadays. You got guys that, they win their division, they get the 1 seed. Heck, they won a championship a couple years back, and they get fired 2 years later, 3 years later.
You think even with Nyheim Hines getting injured and stuff, though, like,
Nyheim Hines wasn't going to be their starting running back.
Not saying he was, but like, still a key part of their offense. I mean,
absolutely.
But kick returner, punt returner predominantly.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think it matters.
All right.
Especially with the new kickoff rule.
Well, if they're looking for an offensive coach, there's probably going to be one available at the end of the year. It's going to be a surprise name for you guys to see. Sean McVay from the Rams.
Yeah.
He's losing his talent out there. He's losing his players. I mean, he put now Matt Stafford's back in a Detroit Lion kind of situation where he has some talent around him, but he doesn't have the dominance that he had when he got there, and they gave him to win the Super Bowl around.
Yeah.
Sean McVay, I'm telling you, in LA, they want to win, and they want to win and continue to win and win now, and they got money to do it, and they won't play.
I think that's a retirement situation now. Because
McVay
almost left last year.
Well, I'm telling you, I see him going somewhere else, and if a job like Buffalo would be open, dear Lord, they'd suck him up in a minute.
Wasn't sure where you're going with that.
I said,
I'm
G.
Cover
for Trey, remember?
No, remember, it's usually Trent. Trent's the expletive.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh,
Trey broke the ice. Trey broke the ice a couple times.
Let me point this out about the Rams out there. One, they went all in to win it that 1 year that they did.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they invested for future.
No.
You did take a Matt Stafford who was talented on the downside of his career. He got it. He was good enough, but now you're seeing a decline in him. Heck, don't forget, guys, the Rams shopped Matt Stafford this year.
Yeah.
So you're right, Dad. I mean, I don't think McVay would ever get fired out there, but I think it's a retirement thing.
Yeah.
No,
really do.
He's too young to retire.
Yeah, but he's already said it. He said because he has deals lined up in the announcing industry stuff. Like,
yeah,
he has.
That's John Gruden, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know. I think one to keep an eye on. It's gonna be kind of nice that Trey is not here to speak on this, but
Oh boy. Oh boy.
No, but I think the Packers need to keep an eye on their coach, and I truly think that he's one that really kind of could be. I don't know. I don't know if hot seat's the right thing to say, But it's kind of tough because, I mean, yes, they are in rebuild, but I think LaFleur, he's up there in terms of odds. He's plus 1,400. He's had some success, but he's also, I feel like he's created some enemies too at the same time within the Packers organization. So I mean, he's a guy to keep an eye on. I'm not saying he's going to get fired this year, but this really could be kind of a tell-all. Hey, what are we going to do moving forward here? I think LaFleur is somebody to keep an eye on. One guy I do want to mention that I think is interesting is I think Frank Reich's going to be interesting because Frank Reich, when he was with the Colts, I believe he had a different quarterback starting every single year he was the head coach. And I think, Trent, you mentioned it last episode that you thought that Andy Dalton might have been the starting quarterback.
I did. I know what you're going to say.
But I thought it was very interesting that they announced starting quarterback right now. And I think it's good for Frank Reich to do that because it's almost, hey, listen, you're our quarterback. Go take us to victory. We're behind you. It's the captainship, whatever you got to do. I almost feel like Frank Reich did that on purpose because, like I said, he literally had a different starting quarterback every single year for the Colts. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good offensive coach. I think this is kind of his way of saying, like, listen, this is my quarterback. We went out and did what we had to do. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, this is almost a statement for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure by him announcing Bryce Young, he's not trying to sit around and treat it like, well, we're going to develop him.
Yeah.
He's got to win and win now. I mean, that's the NFL.
Yep.
You got to win now. You got to win now. So, Ty, you said somebody that you just don't think has a chance of getting fired.
Yeah.
Besides, I'm not going to go with the favorite of Andy Reid because there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
But I guess this guy. I'm actually surprised he's not up there with Andy Reid. I would say Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I was surprised that his odds were plus 3,300, which I was surprised they were that low.
Middle of the pack. Yeah. What the
which
heck?
I mean, that's kind of what the Steelers have been the last couple of seasons.
Guys, they haven't been winning.
But they haven't been losing. Trust me, I know I made some bets on
that. Have they been in the
year.
playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
if you're not in the playoffs and you're a Pittsburgh Steeler, those fans don't tolerate much long.
But I see them moving on from Pickett before I even moving on from Tomlin.
Whoa. Wow, that's
if Pickett, and don't get me wrong, I think Pickett's a decent quarterback. But I think if he doesn't come out, trying to think of the phrase about like a bull coming out. Like if he doesn't come out guns a-blazing, I guess would be the best phrase. Yeah, I don't know, but if he doesn't come out hot right away, I think you're going to see Steeler fans start to question a lot of things because I do know that there are a lot of Steeler fans that already question Pickett. Just with all the question marks when he came out with small hands and this and that and everything else. But
I was just going to say they're just trying to give him a hand,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, I agree with that. Tomlin, I don't think has any chance of going anywhere. I also don't think Dable has any chance of going anywhere.
That's the guy I was going to say.
Dable?
Yeah. I'm with it. Well, I like that. I like, it's like one of it's like its own holiday, right? The first Monday after the last regular season
called Black
weekend
Monday.
is Black Monday. Yeah. So I do think there'll be one or two in mid-season gone.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wow.
So I really do. But yeah.
All right.
Dan Campbell's going to have to step up this year. He's got some talent now. I mean, I like the guy, but they lost too many close games.
There's no
and
way.
Now they got to start winning some of those close games.
There's no way MCDC goes anywhere. Dan Campbell's there for at least 2 or 3 more years.
Oh, I love the guy. I think he's done incredible things with very little talent. So
that's what I'm saying.
But like I said, now he's starting to acquire some talent. Yeah. So let's see where he moves with it.
I think their only question mark there is a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean that's really their big question mark. But I think they also had a hell of a draft. So
hell of a draft, and they have a hell of an offensive line up there.
Yeah.
Like that's what people.
There you go.
People do not understand that they have an awesome, experienced group of offensive line that have played together and have had what's his name, Hank Fraley as their coach, one of the longest tenured offensive line coaches in the NFL. Which really, if you look at that, they're not really tenured for that long.
No,
so
that's a good point.
Yeah, I think Dan Campbell's there to stay.
I like the guy, but I'm just saying he's got talent. I'm anxious to see what he does with it.
Yeah, for sure.
They never really possessed that much talent.
So
let's jump into our next booming topic here.
I was gonna say, I mean, guys, you guys realize this time next week we will be getting ready to, and I will watch it. I don't care what you say. Watching the Hall of Fame game.
All right.
Wow.
So we will have preseason football. Now, I know, not too exciting preseason, but it's football, guys. So I'm excited for that. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you my booming topic. Going to stay right along with the NFL. And this week, the USA Today Sports section, they released their annual projections, 2023 NFL record projections.
Okay.
And then they also, within these record projections, broken down by the different divisions, they also have the teams that would technically qualify for the wild card spots too.
Okay.
What I'm going to do here quickly for you is just, you mind if I rattle off who's first place in each division that they think?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so AFC West, they have the Chiefs winning that division.
Okay.
AFC North, the Bengals, which, as we know, recent news might change that. AFC South, they have the Jaguars winning that division.
Wow.
AFC East, they have the Buffalo Bills. NFC West, they have the Niners. NFC North, they have the Lions. NFC South, they have the Saints. And then NFC East, they have the Eagles winning it. So those are all winners of their division. Therefore, they're making the playoffs. Do you want me to rattle off wild card spots? AFC, NFC?
I mean, if you want to. I mean, I have the full lineup here.
Yeah.
And I am baffled.
Yeah, there's some interesting things here.
There's one team that I'm really baffled by.
I'm gonna say, it's the Chiefs being 10-7.
No, I'm not. It's not even. I'm just baffled by like where they have teams in the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go tell us wild card, and then we'll get into that stuff.
So wild cards, and then I'll tell you what I'm looking for this. Ravens would be a wild card team in the AFC. The Jets would be a wild card team, as well as the Dolphins.
Okay.
In the NFC, wild card teams would be Seahawks, Falcons, and Cowboys.
Seahawks. Come on.
Falcons.
Yep. Tyler, I don't know why you're saying Seahawks like that. Seahawks have a chance to take that division with you guys.
No way.
I hate Seattle.
100%.
And I will never ever give them any ounce of hope. So I will sit here and say that Seattle sucks.
I don't see that quarterback having the same kind of year he had last year.
Not
at all.
Draft so well. Just saying.
Yeah, they also have to sign the guy too.
So here's what I want from you guys. I want your guarantee in terms of a winner for this year. So a team that's either going to overperform, win their division, a guaranteed positive. All right. And then I want a guaranteed, I'm going to say a guaranteed negative. A team, I guess I should say a guaranteed underachiever. Can I say that?
Okay, yeah.
And then I want you to give me something that I guess is on the lines of like a hot take, a surprise that people would be like, what the heck are you talking about? So I want a guaranteed achiever, a guaranteed underachiever, and then I want a surprise hot take. All right. Anybody want to start us off?
If you're cool, Dad, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Let's start achievers first.
All right.
Guaranteed achiever.
Achievers? I think Trey would probably agree with me on this. I think he definitely would feel the Niners are going to win their division.
Oh, boy.
Definitely.
Oh,
definitely.
Man, you're scaring.
Appreciate you.
Do we have a guest caller?
No, he's not calling in. He texted me. He goes, "Can't do it tonight, guys."
Oh boy.
No, but I will say the Niners are definitely the primo of that division.
All right, I just stopped recording, so we're done. That's the end of the episode. I'm just kidding.
Train just ran into your theater.
Yeah. All right, so you're saying definite is Niners?
Yeah, I gotta say that.
Wow.
I mean, they're intact. They're intact, and their team looks stronger than ever. And I think that Purdy's in camp, and
no restrictions.
And truthfully, I mean, the rookie they say is looking good. So who knows,
dude? And I'll tell you what. And just to kind of branch off of that too. If you've seen, I know Shanahan had a whole article about. I've never had a grown man send me so many pictures with his shirt off about Deebo Samuel. If you look at Deebo right now, Deebo looks fit as hell. And if he can put up numbers with his dude, I'm telling you, if Deebo can put up what he's been putting up and also look like he does right now, look out because they could be scary.
You imagine having him and McCaffrey as weapons.
That's what I'm saying. And McCaffrey all season.
Hold on, I'm going to tell you guys the guy that's going to have his biggest year of his career is Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah. There's reports that he looks like he's unguardable and doesn't drop a thing.
Yeah.
Which I think he's going to be the one that watch out. But,
that's what they said about him coming out of the draft too. So
Tyler, are you just like piggybacking
no
that Snyder thing? Or
I'm sorry if I stole your thunder there, buddy.
No. I mean
I just had to do that for Trace.
That'd be very obvious for me to do that, and I'm not saying I disagree with that because I totally agree with that, but I'll go out. I'll branch out a little bit. I think that a guarantee shoe-in is the Chiefs. I don't see them dropping too much from where they were last year. They didn't really lose a whole lot. I mean, I think
they're getting better.
Yeah, they're kind of like, hey, business as usual. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl this year, but I mean, did Nagy take over offensive coordinator position?
Yes.
So I mean, it's Andy Reid and Nagy back when they were with Philly. So I mean, and they had a lot of success there, and now you have a quarterback that's even better in Patrick Mahomes. So I'd say the Chiefs are a shoe-in to really kind of take off where they're taking off with. So.
Yeah. I'm going to throw my guaranteed achiever as, and you guys know me. I don't typically back this team, but I would say I guarantee the Eagles win the NFC East.
Interesting.
I
think they win the NFC East?
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
You're like Mr. Dallas all the time. You and Trey are like Mr. Dallas all the time.
Dallas is going to make it interesting. They're going to be in the wild card. I totally agree with that. But I do believe the Eagles are going to – I think the Eagles' defense is going to be one of the best defenses we've seen in a while.
They lost both coordinators, dude.
I know, and you know me. I think on an earlier episode I was all over that. But I also stated that if you have talent –
yeah, they have talent. There's no doubt.
I just don't understand how they get away with the deals that they make. So I'm like, and it always seems like they're stealing. Like, wait, they only got them for that. Like, they only had to give up that. Like, I'm going Eagles as my guaranteed achiever.
I also? I need to bring up a question with that though. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at where USA Today has that division.
Yeah,
they actually have the Giants last.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that is bullshit.
Wait a minute, they have Washington over the Giants?
Yes.
That's probably before Saquon was actually signed.
They added an editor's note that says Barkley agreed Tuesday on a 1-year deal, but like, I still think that's crap. Like,
I agree. It's a projection, Tyler. Pundits don't know anything.
No, they
Washington.
Don't.
How can you even think to have Washington higher than the Giants this year?
I don't know.
There's no way.
All right, well, let's go
underachiever. So guaranteed underachiever this year.
All right. Big John, go ahead. I'll let you start with that if you don't mind.
Wow. I really want to say the Dolphins. because everybody's expecting so much out of them.
I like that.
But it's going to take it's one hit to Tua, and you're on to your next quarterback. Yeah. It's one hit. He's one hit away. So, I mean, everybody's anticipating the world out of Miami after everybody they're getting and everybody they've gotten. But he's one hit away.
Yeah,
So I see them underachieving this year. They may even make the playoffs. But to be honest with you, with everybody that they've gone out and after, they should walk with that division. But the Bills are going to win that division.
Okay. I think underachievers. Guaranteed underachiever, and this might be pretty unpopular, but I'm going with the Saints.
That's not unpopular. I agree with that.
I think having them to win the NFC South. I mean, and now this is I'm looking at the USA Today article, and they have them at 9-8 winning the NFC South. I just don't agree with that. I think you actually see the Panthers emerge out of the AFC or the NFC South, but I think that the Saints are going to underachieve this year for sure. So there's also one other one if you don't mind me touching on too, that I'm kind of like going back and forth, that I feel like this article has them way overrated, is I think the Browns. I think that
Watson's first full year in.
Nope, I don't give a shit. I think Watson has been out of the game and too much stuff around him too long to have any sort of success, longevity like he did when he was with the Texans. I don't see the Browns being too successful, and I think the USA Today article having them at 10-7 I think is way high. I think they maybe go 8-9 at best.
Yeah, the Browns. You're right.
So, and that division, they just beat the crap out of each other. Steelers, Ravens, Bengals. I mean, it's just old school football. You know what I mean? Beat the crap out of each other division.
Agreed. So my underachieve. I guess I don't want to, because they're not expected to achieve much. I was going to say Cardinals, because I mean they're not gonna have a quarterback for probably the whole year. But I'm going to go ahead and say guaranteed underachieve will be the Denver Broncos. So let's ride
to the bottom.
To the bottom is right. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Broncos. I think with having to play the Chiefs and the Chargers,
and those ferocious Raiders.
Yeah, well, Raiders are on a win streak against them, but I think that streak probably breaks. But yeah, so I'm going Broncos are going to underachieve. I think Russell Wilson's overrated.
Stidham.
I
said it last week.
Tyler's bold statement is Stidham ends up being the starter by the end of the year, so we shall see. That's my guaranteed underachiever.
There you go.
Can I also point out the fact that
USA Today has them winning 10 games?
Yeah. I think I know you guys are both Raiders fans, but I think they disrespected the Raiders in the article at 3-14.
Can I ask you something? Would you be saying this if Jimmy G wasn't our quarterback?
No, I wouldn't, because you have Jimmy G. All he has to do is throw the ball up to Davante Adams. That's all he has to do. I mean, that's
Jacobs.
And don't get me wrong,
like,
I love Debo. I love Ayuk. I love Kittle. But Jimmy's never played with a wide receiver like a Davante Adams. All you have to do is put it in like a range, and Davante he'll have like 150 yards a game and like 4 touchdowns. That's all you have to do.
I have a bad feeling that this season we might see a Randy Moss version of Davante Adams in a Raiders uniform.
Ooh, like the Randy Moss sitting on the bench.
Yep. Ooh. Not giving a crap, wanting out of there.
What they need to do is they need to somehow get Jacobs on that field though. They got to figure that shit out pretty quickly.
I think that's Saquon taking his deal might help. I think it will, but let's hope. All right, let's go with the last thing here. I said I want something that is just going to. I actually have 2 guys. I really do, but I'm going to let you guys go first. a surprise, a hot take that most people would not probably agree with you.
Okay. Big John, go ahead. You can go.
Oh, no, you go first.
Oh, man. All right.
Oh, because I can start. I got him.
Yeah, go ahead. Start it.
Let me go with a team that I actually think is going to shock people in a good way, which is the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going to be battling for the NFC South, in my opinion.
Who's
not? Yeah, I was gonna.
okay. So it's a smart surprise, but you have the Buccaneers projected as last right now, probably because you're looking at Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask being the quarterback. But you're going to get that offensive line back and healthy. You have those weapons on the outside. You also have a defense that still has its weapons intact. I think if you put Baker Mayfield, although I'm not 100% sold he'll be the guy all season, but if you put Baker Mayfield in a good situation with weapons around him, in a stable environment, which I truly think Todd Bowles and who did he replace? Who was the coach before him? Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
Right? And Bruce Arians is still involved. Bruce Arians is sitting there still working maybe with the quarterbacks because he's quite a quarterback whisperer. I think the Buccaneers could surprise a lot of people in a good way. The ones that I think some people should be making a good little – I'd say if you're interested in sprinkling a little wager on a future, you can get this team to miss the playoffs for positive money, and that is the New York Jets. I believe that they will miss the playoffs.
Really? I don't know, man.
I believe they will go 9-8 and miss the playoffs.
9-8, really?
9-8 and miss the playoffs because you play the Bills twice, you play the Dolphins twice, you play the Patriots twice. Oh, the Patriots aren't the Patriots of the past. But is anybody going to go into Foxborough saying, "Oh, this will be a win"? Nobody's going to cakewalk through a Bill Belichick coach team. So I'm just saying, I think the Jets. I think the Jets might. I mean, it's the Jets, guys. It's the Jets. It's kind of like the Mets. They let people down, especially their fan base.
So what happens though when they get Dalvin Cook? Now that A-Rod took a little bit of a pay cut.
Well, I know, and this is why my surprise is kind of taking a shot a little bit because it sounds like Dalvin Cook is a shoe in there, but I'm just gonna stick with it.
You get Dalvin Cook. I mean, your surprise there is a surprise shit.
Okay, I'll bet you a beer on it.
All right, deal.
I'll bet you. Hold on, no, bet me this.
I bet the Jets make the playoffs. You don't.
No, I want.
That's what you just said.
I want my record. I want to say. I'll take under 9.5 wins. You take over.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Come on. I take under 9.5 wins. You take over.
About 10. What about 8.5?
You just said, what about?
Well,
10?
I was thinking. I'm like, that means no. Hold on. I was gonna say that means that the Jets have to win 10 games, and that's. Ooh.
Well, I mean, I think you're going to have to win double-digit wins to make the playoffs, Ty. Especially.
All
right. Let's do it. Let's do a beer. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take him because I believe in Robert Saleh.
You believe in Robert Saleh?
Yep. Ex-Niner, buddy.
That's Niner blood.
Shanahan success. It's a Shanahan tree of success.
Now, we have this is perfect. Look at that. I just looked this up. The Jets win total is 9.5.
Okay.
Is over under 9.5. For them to win more than 9.5 games, the over is -122.
Okay.
Under 9.5 is +100. So you have the favorite, but
all right,
the wager is right there.
All right,
so that's my surprise.
Jets have to get 10 wins
for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10-7, I win.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 wins.
All right. I know. I'm just clarifying. Just talking myself into this.
I know.
All right. I'll go real quick. My surprise is probably not a popular one, but my surprise is the Minnesota Vikings. I know they're losing Dalvin Cook, but I have trouble looking away from somebody like Justin Jefferson and saying that you are not going to be very successful because, again, going back to the article Trent, that you mentioned, they have the Vikings at 7-10. They have the Packers at 7-10. They have the Bears at 7-10. Then they have the Lions at 11-6. I think the Vikings at least get second in that division, even without Dalvin Cook.
Mattis ran well last year.
What's that?
Mattis ran well last year when he had his opportunity.
I know they lost a lot of key pieces. I mean, Thielen, Kendricks, Darius Smith. I mean, they did. Brian Flores looks like is their defensive coordinator, but I think the Vikings will be better than 7-10. I haven't looked at schedule as long as they don't play a lot of primetime games.
Oh yes, Kirk Cousins primetime. Was it Monday or?
Dude, oh man, which Kirk are you getting, dude?
Yeah, but have you guys? I mean, I don't want to get us too off task here, but have you seen like the side-by-side comparison of like Kirk Cousins and Josh Allen? Like it's actually it's actually it's since 2018, right? Since 2018, right? Kirk Cousins 80 games played, Allen 77 games played. Completion percentage: Cousins 67.8, Allen 62.5. Pass yards: Cousins 20,934, Allen 18,397. Passing yards per game: Cousins beats him in that. Touchdown passes: this is nuts. And maybe it's because they're playing from behind. I don't know, but
gotta like when you play from behind.
Touchdown passes. Heck, I mean, Kirk Cousins has thrown 15 more touchdown passes than Josh Allen has, and then you got QB rating. He's
thrown for more, but also count Josh Allen's rushing touchdowns.
I agree with that.
True, that could come back though to bite Josh Allen though.
That is something that Allen absolutely. But like that was something that shocked me. But I'm glad though, Tyler. You did say that the Vikings would win more games than expected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their team last year, like they did really, really well. They
went 13-4 last year.
Yeah, I mean, now everyone has said, "Oh, it's the weakest 13-4 team they've ever seen," but you're 13-4 in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like you won 13 football games. You found a way to win that.
Yep.
Maybe you weren't a Super Bowl contender, but you won 13 games. So yeah, I agree. I like that pick, Ty.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Big John, surprise.
John, sleeveless John Jackson over there.
Yeah. Let's see. Well,
he's gonna ground you, Trent.
There you go.
Yep.
I'm gonna. I don't know. I just think the Bears are terrible.
Wow.
I don't think Fields will make the season. I don't think he'll finish the season.
Finish the
Are you
season.
saying due to injury or due to?
Yeah, due to injury. He's too vulnerable. I mean, when Nagy's there and he's got an offensive mind that he has, and they let him go, and come on, seriously, who's going to be able to develop the kid more? And he started running and everything else last year. He's one shot away.
It's true. Yeah, that's very true. They also.
I don't even see them contending.
I'm on the opposite side of that.
Okay.
I actually, Trey and I are very. We butted heads a couple episodes back. That I'm very firm on Justin Fields having a pretty darn good year.
Like a bunch of Rams over there.
Yeah, for the first half until he goes out because he's going to take too many shots.
We'll see. Okay, but I like it. I mean, it would be. I guess a lot of people are high on the Bears, so I see what you're saying. You think they'll underachieve? Okay,
big time. Yep.
All right. Well, Big John, you got us one more boomer here before we take a little look at the UFC card coming up this weekend.
All right. Let me just talk about one thing that sort of sat on my crawl here a little bit. And it's not.
It's quite a phrase.
Sat on my crawl.
Sat in my crawl.
In my crawl. Wow.
In my crawl.
Like, what the hell is that? All right, you got to explain that because nobody knows what the hell that means.
Yeah.
It's like when a bird eats stones. It's sitting in my throat. I'm just chewing on it.
Oh,
So it's
like when you get the cream of the crop top to sit in your crawl.
There you go. I have to bring. Generationally, I have to bring the show up, man. So we need an older demographic. We have all young demographic. We need an older demographic.
Does this make us explicit now, Tyler? I'm not too sure. I feel weird.
I think it depends on how deep in the crawl it goes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Tell us what's
hell, I forgot what I was going to say. No, I'm just kidding. No, the deal with Sean Payton. What the hell is he doing opening his mouth? Okay? He comes out this week criticizing Paul Hackett and everything, and the coaching here was terrible. All it is if the average person with a brain in their head sees what he's doing. All he's trying to do is say to his guys, it wasn't you guys. It wasn't you guys. It was 100% your leadership. He's just trying to get everybody to buy onto him real quick. Sean Payton is a Hall of Fame type coach. Okay, he doesn't need to do what he just did. It was a garbage move. It was a garbage move. They play the Jets week 5. I'll be honest with you. I'm pulling for the Jets to knock something out of them. I will say this. I thought the Jets coach handled it very well by saying, hey, at least we're on that guy's mind and we don't play him till week 5. You know what I mean? That was his rebuttal. He didn't go back at him. He didn't go after him or anything like that. But Peyton doesn't need – the Jets are the Jets, okay? The poor team has suffered for years on end. Why are you poking that bear? You're not even poking at a team in your division. All you're trying to do is just motivate somebody by tearing somebody else down. And to me, it was a classless move on Sean Payton's part. I lost a lot of respect for him on that.
All right.
How do you guys feel?
So one, I think in the coaching perspective, I think he crossed the line that you shouldn't have crossed, right? Like,
I agree with that.
There's tons of times where big name coaches replace other big name coaches that are well established in the league. I mean, that's a fraternity where it's almost frustrating to some people that say, "Oh my gosh, these coaches just keep getting job after job after job, even when they do bad in some areas." But I just you never know when you're gonna need a coordinator in the future because Hackett's not that old. And he had success in Green Bay as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And now he's back with the quarterback. I just thought the pieces didn't fit Hackett's system. And granted, Hackett was also a first-time head coach. So, there was going to be some bumps and bruising and a little bit of a learning curve. I also somewhat think this is Sean Payton almost coming up with a sort of excuse to say things were so bad here that I need more time to get this in the right direction.
Oh, there you go. That's a good call.
So I almost feel like that was a little defense mechanism on Sean Payton's line or for his case. So that's just my take on it. I don't know. I mean, I agree with you, Dad. I think he should shut his mouth and just focus on your team. Why? It drives me nuts as a spectator of sports, but also a coach in sports. Why ever give your opponents bulletin board material?
Yeah, that's right. We don't have chalkboards anymore.
Yeah, Dad, that's like up with
sorry,
the
man. Sorry.
Dustin erasers is a thing of the past. But yeah,
don't
I
let
think
it sit in your crawl though.
Yeah, it's okay. I got it out of my crawl.
But yeah, that's where I'm at on that situation. I agree with you, Dad. I thought it was uncalled for.
What's your opinion, babe?
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I think that Sean Payton, I feel like he's kind of getting back into the swing of stuff. I agree with you. I think just keep your mouth shut. Let your players play. I don't think you have to sit there and take shots. I think Trent makes a good point though too about maybe it is his way of saying like, oh shit, let me just cover my ass a little bit too, just in case we do suck. Well, hey, these aren't my guys yet. It's we got to get this. I think that's a fair assessment too. So I just think the Broncos aren't going to be. Like I said, I've had a lot of comments on the Broncos in the past here. I don't think Wilson is the guy. I think Wilson's true colors have actually came out over the years, which everybody, Russell Wilson, he's such a great person, he's such a great guy, and then some things come out and it shows you kind of a dick. Which is
not there it went.
Yeah,
there went our G rating.
No, dude, it's been. I've already surpassed that. I know it's my fault. So, but like, I think, I don't know. I think it gives him an out. You know what I mean? I think it's his way of saying, well, listen, guys, like, give me some time. Let me work this in. I also question too how long he actually stays. You know what I mean? In terms.
You mean before he goes to Dallas? Just saying.
Interesting.
That's a spicy thing to put in your crawl.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. I'll leave it in there. One day he's going to be the coach of the Cowboys. It's
interesting.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a boomer in itself. There saying that. That's a hot take.
Hey, I'm only a guest, so I have to hit you with boomers that are going to last.
There you go.
What are we on to next?
All right. So we'll get into. I think we're going to transition a little bit into some UFC. We're not going to get into too many details with UFC just because it is the BMF belt this Saturday. UFC 291. But what we're looking at here, we're going to look at the top two fights, and we got Alex Pereira, Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz, I say that right? Blachowicz.
Blachowicz. Yep, there you go.
We should probably ask Trey how to say it. He's pretty good at names.
Probably not with his
Shuhai.
Yeah.
And then
is this guy going to be traded to Boston? I'm just
And then we also have Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, who's your lightweight bout main event. So those are really the two.
One other one I want to comment on.
Okay.
And we'll start real light one. The Tony Ferguson fight against Green.
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson's lost his last 5 fights. Tony Ferguson comes out and says, "Hey, I'm 39 years old. I'm reaching the tip of my prime. 39 years old. He didn't just get beat his last 5 fights. He got submitted. He got dominated in multiple fights, and he got knocked out. So the bottom line is real simple. This is if Tony Ferguson loses this fight, his career is over. Because Green's nothing more than a UFC filler in the fight game. He's been there a long time. Nothing to really stand on. I mean, he's got really nothing to lose other than to make a name on a previous big name. Ferguson's career was on the upswing until he lost 5 in a row. The thing that he was doing that I do have to commend Ferguson on was he was helping younger fighters during the course of his training over the previous 5 fights. This fight, he said, "Hey, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to help myself here." So we'll see if that makes a difference. But if Ferguson loses this fight, his career is over.
Yeah, I mean, all his fights though go the distance, don't they?
No, he got knocked out and he got submitted, and then he was dominated on several of the last couple fights.
He used to be a guy that was like never knocked out. Like I'm pretty sure that knockout you talked about was the first time ever. Tyler, to give you an idea, the over under in terms of rounds is 2.5 right now. 2.5 rounds is the line.
Now, it's only now. Keep in mind, we got to remember this. It's only a 3-round fight, though.
Yeah.
So, because some people could look at 2.5 and be like, "Oh yeah, 5."
Ferguson in his earlier years, remember he won 12, 14, or 15 fights in a row at one point.
Yeah.
He was on a tear. I mean, he fights a Green. Green doesn't make it out of the first round. But now the condition and the situation of Ferguson's completely exposed now. I think Ferguson even loses this fight.
I'd agree with you, Dad. I'd agree. Yeah. He's on his way out, and like you said, it might be. I hope it's like a war for these two.
I think he'll make it a war if he's losing. There's no doubt.
Because it could be. I don't know. I mean, he says his prime, so I guess he's not looking to be on his way out. But to be the fourth fight on the card, second fight on the card overall, depending on the order you're looking at. But yeah, I would go with Green in that fight for sure.
I would actually take the over though in rounds. I think it goes the distance.
Agreed. I like a lot of overs on rounds right now.
Yeah, I don't think Ferguson gets knocked out or submitted.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the main ones here. Let's go co-main event. Blachowicz and Pereira, who is coming up to the light heavyweight class here.
It's big. Very big.
It is big. I'm going to give my 2 cents here quick. I think guys that have to go up in weight typically struggle when they fight guys that are used to that weight. I think you saw it with Adesanya went up and lost.
That's one person. I think he was
Volkanovski went up
and won that fight.
He should have won the fight.
Okay. All right, ready? I'll give you another one here. The first time he did it, Conor McGregor went up in weight and lost. So I'm gonna go with Jan, I believe it's pronounced. Blachowicz. Man, I'm struggling with this name. I'm gonna go with him over Pereira in this fight. I really do. I mean, you've seen that Pereira can get knocked out by a guy that's lighter. Now, granted, Adesanya is a lethal striker, but I don't think Blachowicz gets his respect. So I'm gonna be on his bandwagon to win that fight over Pereira.
Okay.
I think I'm sorry. I just think it's stupid that the UFC is not doing a trilogy fight with Adesanya and that guy Pereira. So that's my feelings on that.
Okay. Big John, I'll let you talk about this because I got a lot to say about this.
Okay. Real quick, Pereira is 6'4", fighting at 205 pounds.
215.
His previous fight.
No.
When you got to lose that kind of weight and fight to get down to weight.
Yep.
Now he's fighting at a more natural weight.
Yep.
He doesn't have to worry about fighting, losing weight or working on the weight so much as he does focusing on the fight. And he can be himself. The other thing is what's his name again? The
Blachowicz.
Previous champ, Blachowicz. What he is a past champion. It's going to give this kid an opportunity to make a name. Beats a past champion, puts a key name on his card, makes him more marketable. Pereira wins this fight by knockout. He knocks this guy out in the first or second round.
Whoa! All right.
And he gets a name on his record.
Okay.
Knockout first or second round. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, kind of to echo a lot of what you just said. I do think that listen, by no means am I comparing this guy to John Jones. But
No.
when you have guys that fight up where it's to a point where you're fighting naturally versus constantly having to lose.
Yep.
You know, I think a 215, if you look at, the dude's shredded as shit. But if you look at him when he was 205, he was a little bit frail. You put him now to light heavyweight, right, at 215, at 6'4", his reach is 79 inches, Blachowicz is 78, their leg reaches are both at 44 inches. I'm going with Pereira. I actually took Pereira money line at plus 102 on FanDuel, which looking at the odds now, I believe it's like minus 110. I think he's better off at a light heavyweight than he is,
Agreed.
at lightweight. I mean, I don't know. I think that this is more natural for him. I think you're going to start to see something. I think that he could actually dominate this light heavyweight division. Especially with a 7-2 record, already. I think you'll see something. Don't get me wrong. I think the Adesanya thing, when him knocking him out, he caught him. He was due. But I think that Pereira's a little bit more natural at light heavyweight. So I do agree. I'm taking Pereira money line for sure. in this fight. So if you can find him at plus odds like I did, take him as a dog. I don't know if I say knockout first round, maybe second, but I see it ending early. I don't see it going the distance. So that's what I'm saying. So I think he actually knocks him out with a leg kick.
Well, and guys, you got to realize this. you got to realize this. Alasanya, if he continues to make hay in his division, okay, I'll get that out of my crawl. If he makes hay in his division,
you said it, not me.
and Pereira starts to dominate his division, what's it set up?
Yeah,
it sets up a monster fight.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's going to be tough to agree on what weight class you do.
Well, Izzy's not a light heavyweight.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's not.
So
I think he's.
Drop or he'd have to go
what is he at middleweight? Is it middleweight?
If it's a big money fight, either fighter is going to be willing to do either. If they both start to dominate their division, both of them will want to fight in the other guy's division because they want to be a 2-time champ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's middleweight. I said lightweight. I meant middleweight.
Yeah. But my point is if they will want to fight the other guy in his weight class because that way they don't lose their immediate belt and they get to be a 2-time champ.
Yeah, but I also think Pereira...
And it's a big money fight.
I think Pereira stays light heavyweight after he wins.
Oh, I do too, but I think he'd be willing to fight the other guy again.
Yeah.
Let's go to the main event. The BMF. We can't really state what that belt stands for. That'd be extremely explicit. But bad. You finish the rest, right?
Mayonnaise and lettuce. Event,
yeah. Dustin.
Can we say motherfucker?
Yeah. Okay.
Like with 2 G's.
Okay. That was close. Why not just say it?
No, 2 G's. 2 G's. Throw it in there.
All right, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje right now is the main event. So that'll be a 5-round fight. It is for this made up BMF belt.
It's like the belt for the fans.
Yeah, I hope.
Well, this is the belt that Diaz and who was the street fighter that just recently retired? Michael
Masvidal.
That was the originator of it. That's who fought for the first one.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm having trouble seeing Gaethje in this fight.
I think.
Just watch the last fight.
I was going to say, if you watched any of Gaethje's last fights, that dude is nuts. 1, 2, this fight, I think this has a ton of hype around it. And I hope, as I was trying to say I hope that this fight lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to go ahead with my pick here pretty quick. I think it's going to be a slugfest. The over-under on rounds is right now set at 2.5, with over being the favorite. I think it goes over. But I do think it does not go the distance. I think Poirier ends up choking Gaethje out or submitting him.
Yep.
Not knocking him out, choking him out.
Yeah. Go ahead, Big John. I'll let you go.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I like Poirier better than Gaethje. Poirier. I like him better, but I think Gaethje wins this fight. If you watch the last fight,
how does he win though?
Boy, it's hard to say knockout, but I'll say decision. But I don't think it's going to be quite the slugfest that it was last time. There's nothing that can match that last slugfest. They were literally just standing there exchanging punches to the head. I think the key here is Gaethje dominated most of the fight, the previous fight. He had him beat. And the thing that he didn't do was his pride got in the way because Gaethje was a world-class wrestler. And Gaethje, when he got hurt, continued to exchange punches to the head as opposed to tying him up and trying to take him down. And he had opportunities to try to take him down. The thing is Gaethje wore Poirier's leg out completely. His leg kicks were killing him. I mean, he was taking his entire strength away. and he had his opportunities, and he just didn't finish the fight. I honestly think his trainers will see that, recognize that, and I think that's why Gaethje wins this fight.
Okay.
I'm on Poirier. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm on Poirier. I think Poirier is just too much of a badass. I also see submission round 3 or 4. I think Gaethje makes a mistake at some point. Poirier catches him. I think Poirier is more of a badass than Gaethje. And don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing Gaethje. I just think Poirier is a little bit more of a badass. So that's where I'm going.
There we go.
So you both are on Pereira over Blachowicz. I'm not. And me and Tyler on Poirier over
Gaethje.
Gaethje. All right. Well, hey, what do you say we rattle off our bet bails and backs here in baseball, move through them real quick here, and wrap this thing up? What do you think?
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna take a different approach here. I'm gonna bet on something. I guess my bet is against a team, and you guys are gonna think I sound crazy. I'm crazy when I say this, but I am betting against the Rays.
All right.
Okay, the reason I say this and why, as high as they were on them with the way that they started,
still 3rd overall.
Okay, yeah, I know, and I think when we had our guest Derek on, he said how, the beginning of the year in baseball, you can't win it all, but you could definitely lose it, right?
Yeah.
But they did put themselves in a very good position with that hot start.
Sure.
But let's just keep in mind of this: since they started out 30-9, to this day, they are now, from that point forward, they're 32-34. So I was always,
they're under
for a while. What's that?
So they're under. They're losing
Under 5. Since they hit that 30-9, remember they were 30-9. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, the Rays are a shoo-in." Right. And granted, they still have a chance to win their division. They're a good team. I'm not saying, but be careful, and maybe you want to keep an eye on some lines there when you get a decent matchup against the Rays. They're maybe not take it. You could maybe get yourself some positive money there. So they are 32-34 since being 30-9.
That's a good call. Good fact.
So that's where I'm betting against. I'm betting against the Rays.
Okay. All right. Big John, what are you betting on here?
I'll bet on the Phillies making a playoff. I don't think they're going to catch the Braves, but definitely going to make the playoffs.
You guys need to catch me because he just took the rug right out from underneath me.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry about that. So the other thing is, I think I'll move on and I'll let you talk to that.
You're fine.
I think the Yankees go and buy. Okay, I'll bet on the Yankees going and buying at the trade deadline to try to do whatever they can to just nip their way in. And then Judge comes back and gets healthier and healthier and healthier, and then they make a little bit of a run.
You think he does, though? Like,
what?
You think you think when Judge comes back, you think
if the Yankees are winning, Judge is in the lineup right now.
Interesting.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm not afraid to say it.
No, I know.
That's the way the athletes are right now. I mean, he's he'd be an active participant if they were winning. Right now, he doesn't want to be part of it, and he's thinking, "Hey, I'll get healthy."
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm betting on. I mean, like I said, I'm betting on I agree with the Phillies making the playoffs. I think watching them, especially against the Orioles, and again, we're not an Orioles podcast, but at the same time, I mean, watching them against the Orioles, they fought, man, and they battled, and it was like nothing was ever secure. Like O's were up 4-0, they came back, it was 4-4. It was like, holy shit, like what more can you do? So I definitely think the Phillies. Obviously, I don't think they're going to catch the Braves, especially with Spencer Strider throwing over 10+ Ks like every other game right now.
Why do you think he gets over 10 Ks a game?
Because of his.
Do you think it would be his
lip saddle? Totally.
Oh my God, that's what I was thinking.
Totally his lip saddle. You're not successful unless you have a lip saddle.
We didn't get a on that
one. No, I'm definitely riding on the Phillies and their success. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also just. I mean, I think I mentioned this last week. I think it was my bail was the Pirates. Pirates is bad. Like they're bad. I mean, they're almost last in baseball right now. I mean, thinking about having.
Well, they're a farm team for most of the teams that are contending. That's what they are every year.
Yeah, but I just can't believe how hot they started and how far they fell. I mean, it's actually kind of impressive when you really think about it. And I'm betting on the Pirates just not winning. So you're going to put some things out there in terms of, actual gambling. I mean, you can bet against the Pirates. I mean, yeah, they're struggling. I think their one pitcher Oviedo is like 0-6, 0-7 his last couple of starts. So somebody to keep in mind if he's pitching too. You want to bet on that other team. So, but yeah, I'm saying Phillies in the playoffs. They're getting hot at the right time. We also Trent mentioned this with Derek on a podcast too. You get hot when you can get hot, and they're coming around here. So I'll tell you, who's really getting hot is Bryce Harper.
Yeah, well, he has to.
And that's the thing is Bryce Harper is getting hot right now for the Phillies. Look out.
Where his numbers were, he needed to get hot.
Yeah, he's starting
to even be respected at all.
Hits. I mean, he scored the winning run the other night against the O's. You get Bryce Harper getting hot at the right time, look out. So as long as he stays healthy, but yeah, Phillies are tough right now. So let's bail.
All right, I'm bailing on the Angels being buyers and not selling Ohtani. I think they're gonna strike out. They're gonna end up losing Ohtani and not getting anything in return. I just don't. I mean, I understand. I mean, if I was an Angels fan, I'd be pissed if we traded the best player in baseball. But when it comes down to that point, where it's like, okay, you either get something in return for them, or you're gonna lose them for nothing. Yeah. I don't see how they're going to make a playoff push and even make the playoffs at all. I mean, hell, I even heard like them being excited. Well, we just got Giolito from the White Sox today. Giolito's mediocre right now. I mean, he's playing for one of the worst teams in baseball, in my opinion.
Hold on a second. Well. Angels got Giolito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm bailing on this Angels saying they're gonna make a playoff push. So I bail on.
Fair enough.
All right, I'll bail on the Angels as well. And here's what I'm bailing on. I'm bailing on the fact that all they're doing is throwing a marketing ploy into the act to hide the deal because they want to stop talking about trading Ohtani. They want to stop answering questions about it and do the behind-the-scenes work, and then at the last minute, huge deals pulled off, and the Ohtani deal gets made, and it's all front in the media right now to take the pressure off, so that they're not watched as much. No, we're keeping them. We're going to keep them. We're going to keep them. Oh, big deal. You watch. There's no way that they'd be stupid enough to stand there and hold on to them and take nothing. When you could take some team's first top 3 farm team players for him or anything like that. So I'm betting that they're going to deal Ohtani.
Really? Ooh.
Yep.
Be interesting.
So you're bailing on the Angels because you're betting they're going to actually trade him. Interesting.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm bailing on their word.
So do you guys actually think that the Orioles have a chance of getting him?
They have enough talent too.
But I'm saying, so who do you? And this is kind of a side convo, but I know I had mentioned the other day. I mean, you're going to have to give up a lot of talent and or capital of some sort to get Ohtani. Like, do you trade? Let's say, I think I mentioned Trent to you and Trey. Do you trade Mateo? Do you bring up Holiday as your shortstop prospect, and then trade somebody? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Like, what's your play?
They're going to have to give up something pretty darn steep.
They're going to give up. You got to be bigger than Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo's not worth. He's not worth Ohtani. Ty, you're going to have to get a serious prospect.
Like Henderson. You're going to have to or Callie or whatever his name is, the other rookie.
I honestly don't think Rutschman, Gunnar, Henderson for the Orioles, and I don't think Jackson Holiday are touchable.
What about Hayes?
I think Hayes could. I think anybody outside of Rutschman, Henderson, and Jackson Holiday. I think anybody is potentially fair game there.
Hopefully not Batista.
Oh yeah, I mean, oh god, I mean, if you give up the Twin Peaks, I think you're crazy. But yeah, I don't. I honestly, I think I made the statement. It sounds crazy because I've stated that I think Ohtani's gonna probably go down as one of the best baseball players ever in our generation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's gonna have a ton of championships.
I agree.
So I really like this Orioles group, and I look at this guy. We get back to being an Orioles podcast again. Darn it! How'd we get here? But yeah,
right.
I like
not a lot of them out there.
I know, and I like the Orioles. I just like the chemistry that team has.
They're very young.
Yeah, I mean,
72 straight series without a loss, without losing a series or without getting swept.
Yeah, since Rutschman's been there.
Yep. All right, here we go.
All right,
Balin. Here's what I hate. Getting back on my high horse here. I am bailing on the Yankees. All right, I saw a tweet out there from a guy named Joe Randazzo. Okay, pissed me off. Said the Yankees don't have a culture problem; they have a talent problem, which I believe is complete bullshit. It says, this is continue the tweet. Over the last 7 days, the Yankees have faced an army of starters. Now, this tweet is from Saturday. An army of starters with a 5 ERA, and they've hit 210, 298, 317 with 72 WRC. They also have 5 doubles, a triple, and 5 homers. Truly abysmal. Okay, I think that's crap. Is the Yankees can buy whoever the hell they want. And to sit there and say that the Yankees have a talent problem is complete bullshit. Okay?
Sounds like they have a GM problem.
Right now, exactly. What you're dealing with is the Yankees, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know we looked this up recently, is I believe the Yankees have not won a World Series since about, 2009? Let me check it out.
2009 or 2010.
Yep. So what you're looking at here is now you're going to sit, and sit here. Well, we have a talent problem. All right. I don't care who you are, who's tweeting what. When I read this tweet, I was like, wow. Like, they're actually going to sit there and say that it's not the team, it's the talent. And I think that's just a load of crap. So that's where I'm bailing. Not, 2009, there you go, was the last time they won the World Series.
Maybe they just kept the wrong guys.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where I'm bailing. I hate it. I hate that tweet. I think it's ridiculous. I think that the Yankees don't have a talent problem because they are one of the 5 teams that can buy whoever they want. And they do. I think what you're looking at there is some sort of management issue.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Let's
GM who can't identify talent.
Right. I mean, they haven't been good for what was, oh man, I can't think of his last name. What was the guy? What was the manager when they won in 2009?
Got fired by the Phillies last year.
Really? What?
Yeah. He was the manager for the Phillies. He's the one that Girardi.
Yeah, Joe.
Was he the one in 2009 though?
Yeah, he's the one that last got him there.
Okay, because I was thinking of Joe Torre.
No, Joe Torre was during their prime.
That's what I'm saying though. Like they haven't had the Yankees since Joe Torre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, Don't make it sound like you're complaining.
I'm not complaining, but I'm
Okay.
bailing on them. This Yankee thing, man. Yeah, I feel so.
Yeah, bury him in the bottom of the division. I love it.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I agree with that.
So let's keep
Tyler,
hating.
Tyler. Once again, I'm backing your bail.
Appreciate that.
But all right, I'll bail for you guys here quick. Since July 5th, and this is just a trend that you got to be aware of. There are 3 teams that have not won more than 5 games since July 5th.
Is this backing or bail?
This is my backing.
Okay, sorry, you said bail.
I'm sorry. I just say it's a trend, so it's my back. It's my backing. I'm paying attention to this. We've already mentioned actually all 3 of these teams a little bit recently. Tampa Bay Rays have not won more than 5 games since July 5th. Okay. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago White Sox. Everybody else has at least won 5 or more games in that time span of
There's only
July.
3. I thought you said there were 5.
Nope. I said since July 5th.
Oh, okay.
Only 3 teams have not won 5 games, or I'm sorry, more than 5 games. Wow. And that was the Pirates, White Sox, Rays. So, once again, just blows my mind that Pirates were a team at the early on that we were saying, man, with that division they have a chance. White Sox were a team going into the year that there was a lot of high hopes for, and the Rays are still in the mix. But you keep doing this, it's very easy to fall out of the mix, especially with that AL East the way it is. So, So from July 5th to July 27th, those 3 teams have not won more than 5 games.
That's awesome. Good call.
All right, Big John, what are you backing here? What are you following?
What am I backing? Oh, man. Let's come back to me on that.
All right, so I'm backing right now. I'm going to stick. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I'm backing the fact that pitcher strikeouts, dude. I think this might be the first time that I've had so much fun analyzing pitcher strikeouts, overs, unders, wherever that. And honestly, I mean, I want to take a gambling perspective of it. It's very cool to see if you look at some of the different books with the K props. Is you're gonna get some books right now that are like, let's say a pitcher's at 7.5 in one book, you might get them at 6.5 in the other book, and trying to figure out where they're at and look at their averages. But that's I've had a lot of fun looking at it. I'm back in K props still. Heck, today, I mean Thursday here. I know we're airing Friday, but Thursday my K prop was it Mikolas from the Cardinals, and I looked at it. I'm like, holy crap! 0.2 innings pitched, 1K. He got ejected. So
is that what it was?
That's what it was. I'm like, looking. I'm like, maybe he got hurt. Boy, like, what the heck happened there? You only had 1 strikeout. I'm like, I took his under 4.5, and that was. You want to talk about cake? That was pretty easy. So appreciate that, Miles Mikolas from the Cardinals, for getting ejected for hitting somebody, I think, in the head. Yeah. So, but yeah, K props where I'm at. I know Trey's definitely probably backing his walk props. I know he's been pretty successful with a lot of numbers and things. But yeah, so keep an eye out on our pitcher props here with walks and Ks. So we're having some success with that stuff. So, all right, round it out, Big John, with backing. What are you backing? What's your trend?
I'm back in the Flyers' new management. I'm going to talk a little hockey if that's okay. Are we all right with that?
Well, yeah, but we usually do backing with baseball, but
okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Completely.
I'm a little concerned. I just wanted to bring up a point about the Flyers.
Sure.
I'm a little concerned about them letting D'Angelo go off for the Hurricanes, and I'm just hoping this rookie that they drafted makes an immediate impact as much as they say he can. So.
He's got a year, so
I know. All right, so in baseball, I'm back in the Orioles. The Orioles continue to do battle. Tough series against the Phillies, and still, like I said, still continue to shine. Just they got youth. You just hope they have enough veterans in the clubhouse to keep them sane down the stretch.
Yeah, I hope they keep it going here because it's losing 2 to the Phillies kind of pissed me off, but they were also very close. It wasn't like they were blowouts.
Yeah, they were in the games.
Guys, they are the second best record in baseball.
Wow.
The best
Think about
record.
that.
They're the best record in the AL right now.
Yeah.
The Braves are only the team with a better record.
It's crazy.
So, I'm Dad. You don't gotta worry when it comes down to it. Just back the O's, man. We're basically an Orioles podcast, but not really.
Only when it comes to baseball.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Couple quick things here. It's tough sometimes. I guess we're approaching the dog days of summer. I guess I'm not too sure. Who knows? Listen, you got 42 days till NFL football starts officially. That's regular season, right? And then here we go, 29 days and I believe it's just under 13 hours until college football week 0 kicks off.
Wow.
So, boys, put that on your radar. This podcast will have a little bit of a different feel for it when we get to actually talk some college football. Man, I just can't wait for some action. I don't know about you guys.
Dude, Action Tuesdays.
That's right.
Dude,
So,
best time of the year.
Yeah, I
Northern
think
Illinois.
Yeah, as we start approaching it here, Tyler, you could add on to this, but we're going to be doing some previews here of college football, NFL football, some more in-depth, not just player, but division breakdowns and conferences.
Yeah, we'll start to bring in some specifics here with college football. We'll also start looking at NFL, ranking teams, ranking divisions, looking at what our predictions are in terms of division winners, in terms of college football playoff. I think we also might take a look at some of the tops that we're still in kind of discussion of this. We may actually look at like our top 50 in terms of NFL players, kind of like they do a top 100 with ESPN, Pro Football Players and stuff. So we'll start to look at some of that stuff. But yeah, that's what's coming up here. We are definitely hitting some of the NFL and NCAA football stuff coming up here. So keep an eye out. We're also looking to bring on some more guests as we move forward. So keep an eye out for that. www.beardedbakerbrothers.com is our website. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple. Appreciate everybody listening on this Friday morning. See you guys next week.
Hey, can I make one closing comment?
Absolutely.
Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame votes for the Pro Football Hall of Fame have been coming out. As far as who are semifinalists and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping the Veterans Committee finally wises up, recognizes a buddy of mine named Gary Collins, played for the Browns during their heyday. They won world championships, it was prior to the Super Bowls. They won world championships. He has better statistics than Lynn Swann and Stallworth. Swann's in a Hall of Fame. Gary Collins was an all-pro punter in addition to being an all-pro receiver, caught the first touchdown on Monday Night Football. He played with a better running back than Lynn Swann played with. He played with Jim Brown. So a lot of players on that team have been recognized. I think it's time Gary gets his recognition and gets into the Hall.
All right.
Could also talk about that on some of our Hall of Fame episode stuff because, don't get me started on that.
More yards per catch, more touchdowns.
Dude, there's people trying to put Cam Newton in there. They're trying to put Donovan McNabb. It is what it is. But
right. Sorry, went on a little thing there. I'm just disappointed that he hasn't been recognized.
We're good. All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. Have a great night.
All right.
See you.